Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another amazing episode on the Unleashing Potentials podcast. My name is Bernadette Desir, and I'm your host. And joining me today is Neil. How are you? Is that how I
I'm good.
pronounce your name?
Neil. Yes,
Neil.
Neil.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Thanks for having me on. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. So, Neil, where about are you tuning in from?
I'm right now in Branson, Missouri, traveling with one of my clients, but I live in Pittsburgh and
Oh,
I have a
nice.
office in Dallas. So I have a full digital agency plus nationally
Mhm.
syndicated podcaster, celebrity host, all that different stuff, plus former professional wrestler and teacher. So there you go.
Oh, wow. You've done it all.
Yeah. Man, sometimes that's good, sometimes that's bad. I guess it just all depends.
Yeah,
I've tried
that's
a lot of
awesome.
things.
Yeah, that's really cool. So how long have you been doing the work that you're doing?
Well, my agency, I'm had a marketing agent. I've done marketing for about 15 plus years. I had a tutoring business before, but full
Mhm.
time, I guess right before the pandemic, we went full time as an agency and we've grown. It was just me at first. Now I have a team of 5 people that are all US based, and we've grown really, really well. And I've done the show for about 15 years. So I started my first radio show in December, a pilot at a college radio station, and then syndicated to 150 plus stations. But December 6th of back in, uh, let's see here, it was December 6th of what year? So it'll be 15 years. So I guess that'll be 2000. I don't know.
Yeah,
Go
a
figure.
while
A
ago.
lot of things. It seems like a while ago for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. So on your radio show, what do you talk about and who is your main audience?
So in my radio show, there's no main audience because it's pretty much anyone. We interview
Mm,
authors, celebrities, podcasters, business owners. Basically, we lead with the celebrity. As
yeah.
I have learned from when I first started getting major celebrities, I guess a semi-celebrity myself as a professional wrestler. The
Mhm.
Rock wore my knee pads back in 1997 when I was a pro wrestler before he was The Rock. So I've always been connected in the celebrity game. So I've kept
Mhm.
that going by building relationships to being a big show. But it's an hour program
Mhm.
nationally syndicated at 150 plus radio stations.
Mhm.
And then I also make them podcasts and all the different things. So we
Mhm.
talk about everything. So that's where it's cool. We're going to develop this conversation as we talk
Yeah.
about anything and everything
Yeah.
regarding, it just, there, everyone has a story. And the way I interview and everyone likes the way I interview is I ask questions and through their answers is where we go. I
Mhm.
never ever say, okay, I'm going to stick to my talking points based on what they answer is the key component.
Okay, so that's my style of interviewing.
Well, that's a good
Yeah.
way of doing it
Yeah.
because ultimately you're going to learn so much. It's such a valuable learning experience of interviewing people, and you really get to you develop your true, authentic self. People
Yeah.
don't want to go listen to the same interview they're going to check out in 20 podcasts. And that's why I'm glad you're asking questions like this. I
Yeah.
said, which direction you want to go? Because I'm going to go on a show. I could talk about 40 different things. And
Yeah.
it doesn't matter. We can just go on a tangent and talk about things. I
Yeah.
am making a point. I'm going to start guesting on more podcasts. One of
Mhm.
the things I use my radio show, podcast, television show is to find the right clients.
Yeah.
I do utilize it as a way to build my clientele base by building
Mhm.
relationships.
Mhm.
But I've learned from people like Alex Hermosi that, you know what, I've not really utilized my warm lot market enough. I wouldn't be at Branson right now if it wasn't for my mentor, GJ Reynolds, who is the
Mhm.
co-owner of Women of Faith. He
Yeah.
introduced me to Steve Bailey, and
Yeah.
Steve and I are doing some big things together, and that's why we're out in Branson.
Yeah, that's awesome. So you've interviewed lots of celebrities and then me.
But no, but I'm on your show, so you're
Yeah.
interviewing me. Come on my show to say and interviewed you. But yes, lots. I
That's
just finished
awesome.
up. I just finished up with the co-writer of
Mhm.
Boneyard that's coming out in theaters on July 5th, and also the director. Tomorrow, I'm having one of the stars, and then I'm having one of the main stars. I wish I was getting Mel or 50 Cent, but I'm not. But I looked at my celebrity list. It's a mile long, and it continues all the time. It's not like Sheila E was on my show yesterday, and they just
Mhm.
reached out to me. So this is the nice thing that you bring and you build, but
Yeah.
there's still growth. You're as good as your last interview. Remember that one. You're as
Yeah,
good as your
yeah,
last interview. So
yeah.
someone has to top me next, which that'll be easy, right? Okay.
That's awesome. Um, who has challenged you to become the man that you are today?
There's so many different mentors, but ultimately, I think in my biggest growth has been through self-hypnosis. So if you're saying challenge, I just finished up my very tough, tumultuous divorce about 9 months ago, but I was away for about 2 years during my separation. When I came back from Pittsburgh, from Dallas, Texas, I really needed a lot of growth. I had to really, not as business, I was doing well business, but as a human being, I wasn't healed. And I had to go through that healing process. And I'm I guess a mini, not influencer, but I'm a OG from Clubhouse. So I basically went back to Clubhouse, found Daraj Global, who I listened to before, and Daraj does self hypnosis every night, listening to law of attraction types of books.
Yeah.
And I sleep through self hypnosis every day. And then I also went back and reread those books, and it got rid of my anger issues. I don't have any anger issues anymore. I was able to cure a lot of different things that kept me to get to where I am today. So if I would say a mentor, Daraj Global, even though he doesn't know me, is a huge mentor. I am very good at taking what every person that goes out there and speaks says. I wish people would take action. You know, I'm a big fan of Alex Hormozy. I listen to Neil Patel and Eric Sue, marketing school podcast, but I take action when I learn from these mentors. And GJ Reynolds, as I mentioned, who is my coach as well, I brought him back. He's going to become my coach, meaning he was my mentor. Now he's going to coach me, because we always need coaches by more successful people. It's the bottom line. That, I mean, business wise, that you really have to have people in your corner. So all those people, my girlfriend Vanessa is another one, because she's letting me go after my dreams. So there's no more of, oh, I'm just going to do this, and you know, money's the most important thing. Now I'm going after, I'm on my documentary, my wrestling documentary that I'm coming back in the ring in October. I didn't mention that, but I'm taking a quantum leap in so many ways. But I owe it to the team I'm surrounding myself with now. But I also believe it's a lot of being open to learning.
Yeah, I agree. I love your answer. If you were to ask me that question in return, I would say that everyone I meet is a mentor to me, because whether someone hurt you or not, there's still a lesson in there. And I always seek to find those lessons and gain from them.
I mean, that's it. If we're not willing to learn every day, we're going to be taken over by AI. This is the difference. We didn't have this conversation in 2 years, okay? We didn't have this conversation 2 years ago. But this is the truth. I'm going to tell everyone, if you're not willing to constantly learn and become better than everybody else, you will be taken over by AI, because you got to stay as fast as AI is learning. And they're learning a mile a second. And if you're not open to learn and try new things and be open and take criticism and understand and continue to improve, you will not just stagnate and stay the same, you know, maybe same amount of money. You're going to make less money, probably be out of work, and probably be in a very bad place. So that's a recommendation to anyone, is you got to keep learning. Like, what I'm learning from you is, ultimately, I love how you are willing to ask questions and say, I'm just going to go with asking him my kind of questions, and not and really letting him develop and go. And then and that's good. It's perfect.
Thank you. And I think we live at times in a scarcity mindset. And we, often we're in our way. Go ahead. Sorry.
And I was going to, sorry to interrupt, but I was going to go and say, I wasn't feeling great in this summer, as I've been trying to look at, okay, I'm looking to grow and scale an agency. Great. And everything didn't look like they were connecting the dots. You're starting to get there. And as an entrepreneur, bam, something happens. We don't have that mindset. You know, you don't have whatever religion, belief system, whatever it is. If you don't have that core when this happens, and this is the sad part, people say, well, if this happened to you, did something wrong. No, we learn from all this. Okay. So this hits, then we stop doing what we're doing. And then my previous self 48 hours ago would say, what were you thinking? It always works out. But if you constantly strive, you constantly work on yourself, you're going to meet what goals your life is. So it's abundance.
I often tell people that life is happening for us, not to us. I think the to us part is the victim mentality that we want to stay in the pain and the trauma and the grief. But
And
when we
that's,
flip that for us, we can make it what we want it to be. Would you agree?
oh, totally. I mean, the mistake we make is, and let's just say the law of attraction is not completely real. Not saying it is. Let's say that that we have attracted everything. Let's
Hmm.
just throw that out the window and just
Yeah.
say, look at our minds. If
Yeah.
we're angry, if we have built up resentment, if we're not confident, guess
Mhm.
what? We're never getting sales. We might sometimes. We're going to attract the worst people in our lives, and we're going to be miserable human beings.
Yeah.
So there has to be that energy, but ultimately, it's really your decision on how far you take it.
Hmm.
You
Hmm.
could take it the Esther Hicks way, Abraham Hicks way, or you could take it a specific way like a Tony Robbins. It's up to you, but there's no wrong way. But
Hmm.
ultimately, at the end of the day, how do you feel today is
Hmm.
how you're going to feel tomorrow. And if you're thinking about the past, you're not going to feel good today. And it's
Mm.
about the present moment, getting to get interviewed on this podcast,
Yeah.
having the right Wi-Fi to be able to connect, thanks to people like Steve Bailey.
Yeah.
Then I go on the road, I still have unbelievable Wi-Fi and I'm able to be interviewed. That's
Yeah.
that's that's amazing. That's fantastic.
That is, yeah, yeah. I have to bring this up. You've obviously probably heard of the movie Rocky with the wrestler.
Oh, Rock.
What's
Which
what's his name? He's
oh,
a wrestler.
which one?
Uh,
Oh, the Dwayne the Rock Johnson?
I think so. I think it's with Steve something. But my son's nickname is Rocky. It's from the movie.
Okay, so you're talking about The Rock, Dwayne The Rock Johnson, but Rocky is
I
from
think
Rocky and Sylvester Stallone, which I'm a huge fan
yeah,
of.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's
Five.
what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So the always never give up attitude of what Sly Stallone,
Yeah.
Sylvester Stallone basically was on rock bottom, wrote down, I'm going to do this. I'm going to get this movie made.
Yeah.
Regardless, he sold his dog and then got the movie made.
Wow.
So this is where the thing is, and I ask you this question because I don't
Mhm.
know you from Adam in that process. Tell me, do you believe? I think 100% mindset, but how
Mhm.
much is it up to you as a creator versus up to what, I don't know. It's so tough because you can talk to
Yeah.
people. Why are they down? Why are they down in luck? Why are they not happy? Why are they not successful?
Hmm. Hmm.
Why? I'm going to ask you that question. Why are they? People.
Oh, I think people stand in their way and they assume that other people are keeping them to achieve their dreams and their goals. So it's up to me what I do, what I become, who I become, and who I influence. But if I were to remain focused and not having an open-minded mindset, because at time we're tunnel focused like this, and we don't see
What's going on
everything.
everything else. And this
Yeah.
is the other problem is even if we are realists at some time, is that killing us? Is
Mm.
that our intuition working? Saying, I have this intuition, this is not going to work out. Are we going to have tunnel? Are we going to be blind to everything, and then we miss another opportunity because we wasted this time with this opportunity?
Yeah.
That's the hard part to hear different experts, different gurus, because everyone's created their own guru thing. You'll
Yeah.
get advice from 5,000 different people, and then you're going, where do I go?
Yeah.
Have your intuition that you believe it's going to happen, even
Hmm.
if it doesn't make sense. At least you took the shot to do it,
Yeah.
but you believed you could do it. And
Yeah.
if it didn't work out, there's 20 other opportunities coming right there.
Yeah. That's exactly what I continue to do with my podcast because I don't have I guess, human credentials, right? Degree and all those labels and titles, but I have my story and I own it. And I'm giving people the opportunity to also share their stories.
Right. Let me give you an example. I don't know what your audience is, but
Mhm.
I was talking to one of my new clients that's going to be a podcaster.
Yeah.
I said, it's better to have 100 people that listen to your podcast every week that are totally engaged, that will do
Mhm.
anything for you, than
Yeah.
have millions of people listen to your show, but they listen to a million other things, but no one takes action.
Yeah.
So it's more about being a micro influencer versus being a huge influencer because
Yeah.
it's ultimately we probably check out things all the time, these big views, these big people. But
Yeah.
ultimately, do we take action and buy any of their products or services? Or if you were advertising on that show, would people take action? Here's an example.
Mhm.
Neil Tell talked about he just got retweeted by Elon Musk. He
Yeah.
thought he was going to get new clients, right? None.
Yeah. Wow.
And that was almost how many. Elon has 7 million followers on X,
Yeah.
right? Or something, I don't even know. And he
Yeah.
got retweeted and quoted by Elon Musk,
Mhm.
no clients.
Wow.
So, but Neil could go on a show like with hardly any audience and get 9 people to take action and 10 people to listen to the podcast.
Wow.
And so this is the thing. It's not about size. It's about what are you doing and what result is it coming from it? Like you could go on a radio station right now,
Yeah.
50,000 watt station, and pitch your services and then do a podcast with an audience of 5 people and one person signs up for $100,000. You're going to say, excuse me,
Yeah.
excuse me, what happened?
Yeah.
So it's always to be open and take every opportunity that's presented to yourself.
Yeah.
Because if you
Yeah.
miss out on that opportunity, you never know what could have happened.
Mhm.
I call this new relationship I have with Steve Bailey is GJ 2.0. I
Mhm.
back in the day was involved with an unbelievable network of people, and I was too focused on my podcast and radio show to care about anything that could help grow me as an entrepreneur. And
Mm.
it was the dumbest mistake I made. Now
Mhm.
I won't make those mistakes. So,
Yeah.
but that's the thing, and we grow and we
Mhm.
have to take ownership of what mistakes we made and
Yeah.
own them. You know, when
Yeah.
people would not, you would like sit down and talk to, and they're not willing to say, I made a mistake. I screwed up.
Yeah.
I was an ass at one point in time. I was a jerk
Mm.
and I'm going to own it. You know, people really will own things. They won't.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah, that's true. That's really true. Thank you for sharing. Can you tell us more about your TV career? I can't talk today.
What
I
kind of TV crew? So which one are you talking about? The podcasting or all that or what? Or the TV,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
TV show? Like, okay, so I have a
Yeah.
TV show that's locally on Pittsburgh,
Yeah.
also a YouTube channel. So every show I do is like you doing Zoom, but
Mhm.
we also put it on the television shows, some of the shows. So I have
Mhm.
TV. I'm in negotiations right now with a TV network, 2 to 3 TV networks, but one looks really good to
Yeah.
put my show as a television show and produce other television shows. But my
Mhm.
agency does produce TV shows as well.
Okay.
I'm working on my documentary about my comeback into professional wrestling, and we
Mm.
shot the first part of it with
Mhm.
my filmmaker Lefty. Then that's going to be coming out. That's going to be the second phase in October. We're shooting again, where I
Mhm.
come back in the ring. So TV, I would say that TV show is basically I'm on a local television station. So my show weekly is on a television station. So how many people could say they're a TV host, a podcaster, and a radio host, and I guess a social audio influencer too? But you go figure.
Yeah, that's really cool. That's awesome. Yeah, I love the work that you're doing. What would you like for people to gain and get from what you're doing and just shared with me on the podcast?
I would just say to be open to anything and also to truly not know where the next opportunity is going to come, but study,
Mhm.
learn, be
Yeah.
willing to change, be willing to grow. If you
Mhm.
don't do those things, willing to change and grow, guess what? You're never going to become anything.
Yeah.
And also to truly not have doubt in your mind that you can do something, that you
Mhm.
really believe in your own heart and soul you could do it. I'm talking to clients all the time. Well, maybe they'll do this. Well, then if you're thinking that you've already given up, you're already done.
Mhm.
So what is in our mind right now is
Yeah.
what's today and where we're going to go next. If we don't, in our minds, we say to ourselves, you know what, I don't think this is going to happen. It probably won't. I still
Yeah.
think there needs to be intuition as well. But if you have everything lined up, this is the other thing. If you have doubt, it might be your intuition, or it might not, it might be mindset. You say,
Mhm.
everything's lined up. I have the best product and service. I have the best customer. I know they're the best. I know I bring value. You're going to get a sale.
Mhm.
If you don't, forget about it. But if you say, this looks like a waste of time, I'm not
Mhm.
going to make any money, and it
Mhm.
has nothing to do with you, it's probably your intuition.
Yeah.
What about you? I'm going to take it back to you. What about
Sure.
intuition? Intuition versus knowing it's the wrong thing to do. What is it intuition and what is it doubt?
Mm. Intuition, I think it's connected to the heart. And I think when we follow our hearts, it cannot mislead us. But when we follow this, without that, without our intuition, then we're a mess because we're not aligned with our true calling or authenticity. So that's
100%.
what I would say. Yeah, yeah. Follow the heart and do it fearlessly, because I've had to shut down all the noise, because very young, I think all of us are programmed by our mom, culture, family, religion, beliefs, and how we look. We're
And that
just
goes to our,
programmed that way.
and that
Yeah,
goes to our subconscious too. What's in
yeah.
our subconscious? But I like, let's just say, as I said, if somebody doesn't believe the law of attraction works completely, all the law, every
Yep.
law doesn't work, or it's not, there's proven fact it isn't. Let's say they said that. Then just go about, if you could still live those principles,
Mm-hmm.
you're not going to get upset and angry. You're not going to look to get even with somebody. You're not going to get angry and have fear.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to be successful in life.
Yeah.
And then you have to look at yourself when things aren't going right. The world feels like it's over. I just lost a client. I just lost a loved one. Or I look like I'm almost going to go down. How am I going to go positively to the next day? That's it. But you got to live a life that you love. If you don't live a life that you love, why are you living?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I think most of us were waiting until we're rich. We're waiting until we get the marriage, the
No,
job
we're
to be
already
happy.
rich. We have to already feel that we're rich.
Yeah,
We already feel that we are successful. We
yeah,
already have to feel that we're the best, or we're never going to be there because we're not ready to take that position on. We're not ready to be in that spotlight. We're not willing to be responsible for more things. We're not willing to work more or work differently or do things if we don't already believe we're there.
Oh, I love that. I love that. I know we're running out of time, but please, I'd love to have you back to share more of what you do when you have the time. But
Happy to
let
have you
us
back.
know. Yeah, leave us with some words of wisdom, and then let us know where we can find you and
Okay.
connect with you.
Absolutely. Words of wisdom is everyone has a story today. Go out and tell that story.
Yeah.
You have to no longer look at what the world's doing. What are you doing? And look at yourself and say, am I going to constantly just stay stagnant and not move forward, or am I going to move forward? Am I going to take steps? Am I going to take steps necessary to be successful? And because we're in the era of competing against AI, am I constantly learning? So there's a couple tips I offered. But lastly, go to neilhaley.com. You want to be a guest on my show, you have a story, reach out to me. I'd love to have you on the show. And if you're looking for an agency that does full service digital agency, podcasting, social media, website, all media, even take your book to a movie, contact me today, neilhaley.com. That's all. Or find me on social media.
That's awesome. One last question for you, though. Are you accepting anybody? Because on my podcast, I don't care who people are, what they
I
do.
accept everybody. I interview 30,
Okay.
40 weeks. So I just send them
Okay.
out.
Okay. Because
Everyone
I
has a
know,
story on
yeah.
my show.
Okay. Because I know most podcasters, you have to meet a certain guidelines.
That's the bunch of BS, and that's why they're just doing it. They're not.
Yeah.
They're an average podcast. This came out of the 5 million podcasts, only 600,000 are active. So take that chance and be active. Don't just keep going through the whole process of picking who you want, because
Yeah.
everyone has a story and everyone's great. Okay.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Well, Neil, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for all you do. Keep shining and empowering people.
All
Thank you.
right. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.